affected by the weather. Lately I've been floating like a feather. I get up in the early morning rain. I wear the same old leather shoes, the ones I used to kick out with those blues. And I found the book where you scribbled your name. Turn back the tide, ignite the feeling. Rewind your mind, summer dreaming. Two hearts collide in the evening. You make me feel alive, that's what I'm feeling. Whoa, looking back to the days of yonder, realized that I was so much stronger. Before you turned around and said you were leaving me. If you ever wanna go back in time, if you ever decide to change your mind, I will be there waiting by that tree. Yeah, turn back the tide, ignite the feeling. Rewind your mind, summer dreaming. Two hearts collide in the evening. You make me feel alive, that's what I'm feeling. Whoa, whoa, oh yeah. Hands up for the summer feeling. Put your hands up for the summer dreaming. Hands up for the summer feeling. Put your hands up for the summer dreaming. Hands up for the summer feeling. Put your hands up for the summer dreaming. Turn back the tide, ignite the feeling. Rewind. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Chandler regular city council meeting. We actually have two meetings together here. We have a regular city council meeting, and then we will be voting on a budget item in a special council meeting immediately after that. That has to do with some council expenditure issues of about $400,000, of which council we have gotten that to a number that we'll talk about in a little bit. And then again, council, we have an exec session after that. So at this point, I would like to call our meeting to order. Clerk, please take the roll.
Mayor Harkey,
Here.
Vice Mayor Stewart.
Here.
Councilmember Harris.
Here.
Councilmember Lopez.
Here.
Councilmember Rowe.
Here.
Councilmember Ellis.
Here.
Councilmember Orlando.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, City Clerk. Is Pastor Robert Felix from the Chandler Presbyterian Church here? Thank you, sir. You'll be offering our invocation, followed by Councilmember Harris with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pastor.
Great. Well, good evening. Greetings from Chandler Presbyterian Church. It's an honor to be here with you. Would you join me in prayer if you'd like to? Creator, we pause for a moment to acknowledge that we aren't here by chance. You've given us a beautiful world, strong minds and hearts, and the resources to build something beautiful. Thank you for the privilege of leading here in a safe community that's full of energy and creativity. Thank you for comfortable neighborhoods and well-run schools. Thank you for clear skies and the promise of future prosperity. Considering all that you've given us, please chase away any spirit of selfishness. Open our minds to new possibilities. Soften our hearts to consider the needs of all, even those people we think aren't like us at all. Give us the courage to make decisions, knowing that if we head in the direction you have for us, you'll keep working for our good. Please bless everyone gathered here tonight with fresh insight, clarity, health, and peace. I ask you in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, council member. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. So council, we've got a consent agenda in front of us with a public hearing and some items after that. I do have one speaker card on item number 8, which is the development agreement and ordinance for the property located at 51 East Boston. The speaker card is from Nils Kripke. So, Mr. Kripke, if you please come to the front. You have up to 3 minutes. The light will be green. When it turns yellow, you have 30 seconds. When it's red, please wrap up. Please state your name and address for the record.
Nils Krepke, 28 South San Marcos Place, Chandler. Mayor and council, appreciate you letting me the opportunity to speak. The history on this particular parcel, 51 East Boston, has been an interesting one. 2 or 3 years ago, there was an RFP that was sent out that got 5 or 6 respondents. This time there was five or six respondents as well. And unfortunately, it doesn't appear to be a very open public process, and that's a concern for me. We have a committee that was put together based on the information I got today for the selection of the RFP respondent that was based on 6 people, 5 which came from city staff, 1 which was the DCCP manager who had a travel conflict and was not able to attend. So it was all city staff without the anyone from the private sector or representing the downtown partnership or stakeholders or anything like that. Of the respondents that submitted, there was a program, a setup where you guys could the group could evaluate the different respondents. The one that's being selected to go forward today, while I have tremendous respect for that person and that business, being Improv Mania, came in 3rd on all of them except for 1, and came in 4th place on the other. And yet somehow the businesses that came in 1st and 2nd place that submitted, spent the time, spent the effort, put the everything on the line to try to get selected, did not get selected to be the business moving forward. If you talk to, what I would like to see, if possible, is that this decision get delayed, that staff actually go around and talk to stakeholders, to talk to property owners and businesses and so on, to see if this is the best selection for the downtown 51 East Boston property, because the reaction has been it's a net zero gain. The Improv Mania is already down here. There's no new business gain from doing this other than the city gets to fill the coffers with $460,000 for a property sale that they would have gotten from one of the other respondents. It's just very problematic in questioning the process, since there's been 2 RFPs. Last time Improv Mania also submitted, didn't get selected, no one did, and now we're back to square one. So I'd like
Thank you,
to
Dale.
have this postponed, and if possible, have you guys talk to the DCCP stakeholders and get some more input.
Thank you, Nils.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor.
Council, again, we've got a consent
Mayor.
agenda in front of us. Councilmember Orlando.
We had a couple key points in there about process and fair. I want the city manager or someone to explain what the process was to the residents, so we understand what really was done here and how this was vetted, if you don't mind.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor.
And also this was an exec session, so I don't know how that information came to you, but it is less than, I could say it's correct, but it's less than correct, but city manager.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, members of council, Councilman Orlando, I can have Kim Moyers, our cultural development, come up here and talk about the public aspects of the process that were conducted through the RFP.
Mayor, Council, when we have an RFP, we typically put the RFP together, send it out to everybody in the community. We do have a selection committee. Typically, that has been made up of city folks, city staff, and somebody from the DCCP. That's what the process that we've done throughout the years that I've been here, at least. Unfortunately, at the last minute, the day of, we found out the DCCP person could not come, so we didn't have enough time to replace that person. We did go through the process. Typically, the process is after the selection committee, we bring the top 3 to you through an executive session, and ultimately, it is up to the council to decide who gets to purchase the property. And in this case, it was Improv Mania.
And Mayor, just to clarify, this wasn't best price, it was best value overall, what it was going to do to the community, what it was going to do to the area. So there's a lot more factors in there than just dollar amount, correct?
Through the mayor, Councilmember Orlando, absolutely. We do look at different factors, ways to engage that side of the street, who the players were, what their financial history was, what their experience has been within the city. All of those are factors that we bring forward to council.
And one final question, Mayor, please. So all of the bidders were vetted and they were ability to fund the project was satisfied, correct?
Through the mayor, Councilmember Orlando, correct.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
Sorry, I was going to consulting if I could say something else about the process, but again, it's under exec, so I really cannot address that at this point. So council, we have a consent agenda. Councilmember Lopez.
So I move for approval of the May 13th City Council regular meeting consent agenda.
Okay, there's a motion. There's a second by Councilmember Ellis. Council, any questions or comments, recusals before we vote? Seeing none, please vote.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, thank you so much. Council, next on our agenda here tonight, we have a public hearing and item number 25 and 26 related to that. That be you, John? Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Tonight I'm here to present the fiscal year 21-22 Enhanced Municipal Services District Annual Assessment. The Enhanced Municipal Services District, or the EMSD, was created in 2005 and is in its 16th year. The district covers 61.4 acres and over 1 million square feet of commercial space. An Enhanced Municipal Services District is formed to provide public services up and beyond services provided elsewhere in the city. Such services include public safety, beautification, marketing and promotion, and professional management communications. These services are provided by the Downtown Chandler Community Partnership through an annual contract with the city, which will come to City Council next month for potential approval. I'd like to take a moment to highlight a few of the Enhanced Municipal Services District services that, despite the challenges created by the pandemic, were provided by the DCCP last year. They executed several successful special events and marketing campaigns to draw residents and visitors to the downtown. These include Sippin' Santas, the Farmers Market, and Friday Night Live. They teamed up with the Downtown Bike Team on special events, weekend nightlife activity, and any concerns by the restaurants or residents, making sure we keep downtown safe for our community, particularly in the later hours. The DCCP contracted with Block by Block to provide 56 hours a week of additional street cleaning, which are held by 2 clean team members. The clean team members assist with picking up trash, cigarette butts, gum, cleaning trash can lids, and many other responsibilities through downtown's busiest nights and weekends. They can easily be identified by their bright yellow hats and shirts. The DCCP is the day-to-day boots on the ground staff that works closely with the city to make sure the downtown is running smoothly. They meet with stakeholders for special events coordination, cross-promotion of marketing campaigns, and help with specialized meetings when issues arise. And additionally, the DCCP responded quickly to the COVID-19 pandemic by providing a regularly updated webpage with listed business hours, specials, and any other relevant information, and worked with the city on several pandemic response programs. To further expand on the EMSD process, the assessment was authorized by the property owners in the district, with 100% of the assessment proceeds being paid to the district. City Council is the governing body who officially enables the district, and the district must be renewed each year. Annual steps are as follows. Step 1, the rate is set by the City Council. The rate has remained the same since its inception in 2005. And step 2, on March 25th, Council provided tentative assessment approval and set the hearing date for tonight. Since then, we're now in our, we've published the notice of hearing as required by Arizona Revised Statutes 5 consecutive days before the hearing. And the DCCP staff mailed notices to all property owners in the district of their right to file an objection. No objections have been received at this point. The third step is the public hearing we are holding tonight and the potential resolution of the approval. And the fourth step is the approval of the contract with the DCCP to administer the EMSD, which will be coming on June 10th. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Council, do you have any questions for John Owens? Seeing none. Council, any discussion related to this item? We do this frequently every year. Is there any discussion from the audience related to this public hearing? Seeing none, I'd like to close this public hearing. Thank you. Item number 26, resolution number 25475, approving the fiscal year 2021-22 annual assessment for the City of Chandler, Arizona, Downtown Chandler Enhanced Municipal Services District. Council, is there a motion for this? We have a motion by Councilmember Ellis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Rowe. Comments or questions? Seeing none, Council, please vote.
Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, thank you. Our next item, our action item, is discussion and possible action regarding the city manager recruitment process as requested by Councilmember Orlando. I did want to take a moment and just read where we've been so far, and then Councilmember Orlando, whatever presentation or questions you would like. So,
Mayor, if I could interject just for a moment.
I was looking for the voice.
Sorry.
to come.
Mayor, just to avoid any appearance of a conflict of interest, I'm going to need to recuse myself from the dais for this part of the meeting. So Ms. Stapleton is here as Assistant City Manager if there's any questions.
Okay, thank you, Acting City Manager. So Council, as you recall, on February 8th, we had a exec session and we interviewed some search firms. And of this, we heard what they thought they could bring to the table, the timeline. Afterwards, again, this information became public, is that we chose SGR proposal with a recruitment process would take a minimum of 15 weeks. And we gave direction to the Human Resources Director to contract with SGR and begin the process. On February 11th, our Human Resources Director executed the contract with SGR. The week of February 22 through March 1st, the consultant interviewed each of us as council members, as well as the executive team of the city per agreement with SGR. Got our feel for what we were looking for. On the week of March 29th, they then presented to us a recruitment brochure, and I believe every single council member added comments to that, and thank you for all of your comments and your thoughts on that. So we had a look at it. We then presented it back to the consultant. On April 6th, this brochure was finalized. On April 7th, the position was posted. On May 7th, the position closed, and applications accepted into the following week based on interviews and reaching out from consultants were made prior to closing date. So the next steps is, I believe actually, and I just talked with the city attorney right before here, is that you're going to get a link that will, I believe tomorrow, that will allow you to look at all of the applicants that had applied and look a little more in depth with the understanding this is confidential. We're not reaching out to them, but it gives you a flavor of who all has applied. We have a date scheduled on May 17th, an exec session, in which SGR is going to present to council all the applicants in a ranked format via PowerPoint presentation, and then we'll have the opportunity to determine what's a narrowing down. In this list, we would then ask them for, they would then go back to the candidate asking for more information, do a video. Thank you, Councilmember Rowe. Your dreams have finally come true with that one. And these are our semi-finalists, if we want to use that phrase, and they then will come back to us. We'll have a chance to look at all of that material. And then into June, we will review the semifinalist packets, narrow this down to a finalist, whoever that council chooses to bring into here. So I believe that's the process here. So Councilmember Lando.
No, thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it. We had a good discussion yesterday, and you've been keeping us advised all along. At least I know you and I have had several conversations. I'm sure you do the rest of the council, right? Good. I guess the only other next step I wanted to discuss, you and I chatted a little bit yesterday about getting the applicants, and we appreciate staff working with that. I think that's equitable that we could look at them obviously beforehand, and obviously it is confidential. We must maintain our confidentiality up here. The other thing we talked about yesterday, Mayor, as you know, is the citizens panel, and if we're going to put one of those, and I assume we are, and the makeup of that, I'm assuming you may want some names from each of us just to get a list of names, and then we could just, you'll pick, a couple out of there. And then I'm assuming we want, obviously business leaders, CUSD, some school district, that type of broad perspective, correct?
Community leaders.
Yeah, community leaders.
Yeah.
Okay.
And perhaps council, when we actually are in the exec session, we could talk about that and in terms of what's a number and makeup. And
Okay.
And so we could have an in-depth conversation about that, but I would
And-
certainly welcome names that you might offer, but just please don't expect me to
Get 'em all.
select all of your names.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't want 50 people on
Yeah.
the search.
Fair enough, Mayor, fair enough. And then I assume, again, just to clarify, we're going to do a director/employee group committee as well, right? A second group. And we'll have the directors as well as the labor organizations and employee groups involved with that.
That's the plan, to have some representative certainly from the city. That would include labor groups.
Okay, great. Again, I'm just clarifying a lot of stuff because there's buzz out there. What are you guys doing? What's going on? And I think it's fair that we have this discussion here. I think you covered all the questions I had. Other than the June 8, we'll discuss that offline. You and I can discuss that offline. I have a conflict, but we'll work that out.
You
So,
missed one question that I thought you were going to ask
Go ahead.
about a public presentation
Oh.
here.
Yep. And we talked about that yesterday, having the candidates ask questions. We're going to ask questions of the candidates or some mechanism, and then public will listen.
Sure, there's some moderator would ask each of the candidates the same question. They would have a chance to, in front of all of our city employees or public, a chance to see, to weigh into, and that can get back to probably HR as well.
Good, I appreciate it.
So we will wear these candidates out when they come here.
Good, we want to
Mayor.
do that.
Yeah, yeah. Vice Mayor,
You're saying we are going to do a public, question answer in a dais format like this? Is that,
that's what we've done on a lot of our other directors and previous city managers too, is to actually, we get to see them in a different light to see
Right.
how they answer. Really, it's been very productive.
yeah, okay. Just want to be clear.
Yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to it, Mayor, as everyone else. So again, I just wanted to let the public know that, and as well as us, that we're in the same link, and we are, and I appreciate your guidance on this.
Okay. Any questions for Ray Lynn or anybody else? Or we
No,
good?
Ray Lynn's been a
Okay.
rock star.
Right. Council, any other questions related to this? Yes, Councilmember Harris.
There we go. Thank you, Mayor. Just looking forward to the transparent process because I think just to ease people's concern, the public really wanted transparency. They want to be involved in the process, and I think allowing the opportunity for stakeholders to get involved and direct employees, I think this is a good decision for everyone. So.
Yeah, I think we agree. We certainly want this as transparent. I know these two went through that process, even actually being on the days with other people also looking for their jobs. And I think we have been very successful in attracting some great people in all of our offices. So any additional comments on this?
So just status quo. We keep doing what we do, right? It's great.
Status quo, excellence. Yeah. All right. With that, we'll close that informational point. We do have unscheduled public appearances. I do have one card with that, and that is from Jamie Hoffman. Jamie, do you want to come on up, state your name and address? And you also have 3 minutes. When the light turns red, try to be done. Thank you, sir.
Yep, Jamie Hoffman, 42 North Belma Drive in Gilbert. First, I'd like to say that a lot of you have seen me over the years. I've been pretty vocal over the years about with my opinions, and you haven't heard much out of me in the last couple of years because you guys have done a great job. You've solved the parking perception problem. You've filled the dirt lots with businesses. We have 4 or 5 destination businesses down here, and have been very pro-business. So I do thank you for that. To why I'm here is the patios. I did not put a patio in right away when you guys authorized it because I didn't know if it was the right decision. And I think it was. I think it was great for downtown, and I got that from our customers. I'm not talking about what our businesses felt, although I believe downtown businesses voted 80% for them staying. Our customers loved it, and everyone else's customers loved it. And I don't know, in the little session we were in, I was just a little disappointed that no one ever asked, was this great for downtown? All I heard was, is it fair for all the businesses downtown? No one said, is it good for downtown? And I think it is. I don't need it. I have more patio than anyone else downtown. I have all of Commonwealth and all of the front. And I thought this gave us separation from Gilbert, who is our number one. We shouldn't be fighting each other. We should be fighting the other downtowns. We want people to come downtown. And I think these are important. All I'm asking for is before you make us tear them down, have a plan for how they're going to go back up. Because I have a storage unit to put mine in, but does everybody else? And if the restrictions when it's time to put them back up are, I don't want to do that, why are you making these people hold on to all this stuff if they don't know they're going to there's no plan. So my only ask would be if you let them stay up until we know what the plan is for when they go back up. And that's all I got.
Yeah. Thank you. And this is unscheduled and we can't engage you with this format, but thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Council, next on our agenda are current events and announcements. I will start, and I expect Vice Mayor to stand up and do a jig with this announcement. But as of effective tomorrow, I'm rescinding the proclamation declaring the existence of a local emergency in Chandler that I issued on March 19th, 2020. With CDC's new guidelines, guidance even issued today, vaccinations widely available, and the case numbers continuing to increase, city is no longer functioning in a state of emergency. We left this open longer for the making sure that if there were additional dollars to collect, we wanted to be able to do those as well. We have gone through all of those avenues, but at this point, there's no reason to continue this. On May 24th, the Senior Center will reopen and resume programming with social distancing and sanitation measures in place. I would like to thank our residents and businesses for working with us through these incredible challenges of COVID-19 and for coming together to support one another through these times. I'm really proud how council has worked together over the past 14 months, and the decisions that we've made as a council, even though with a declaration of emergency that was available for me. I just think it shows the strength and the willingness to say we trust each other, but make this council decision as well. The community and the economy are stronger than we've ever been, and the city is working hard to keep that momentum. I do want to encourage our community to continue following CDC guidelines. Please remember to respect that businesses are able to set their own policies, as are schools. So thank you. And I did notice, by the way, Corey, you did try to get me to say unparalleled, but I caught it. It's unprecedented. That's my anti-word. That's right. Councilmember Harris.
Well, I am excited because if the council can give me a big yeehaw. Well, I am proud to announce that I am going to be the Grand Marshal for the Black Rodeo that's coming up this Saturday. I'm honored to have been named the Grand Marshal, and it's going to be taking place this Saturday at Westworld. So they have a 1 p.m. show and a 7 p.m. show. This event features African American rodeo competitors from all over the nation, and I'm excited to represent Chandler. I'm encouraging you to go online to check out the talented competitors online, and better yet, grab your boots and come see me there on Saturday. You can go to azblackrodeo.wixsite.com to learn more about it. But, you know, it's going to be pretty amazing to see me on a horse if that's where I'm going with this thing. So you guys might have a cowboy on the dais, and I'm looking forward to it. So I will see everybody in Chandler and council and everyone else that wants to come hang out with me at Westworld on Saturday. Yeehaw.
I have so many comments and none at the same time.
We got to get in sync. The private car. Yeehaw.
Councilmember Lopez.
Thank you, Mayor. So today I had lunch that was sponsored by the Food for Love Foundation, honoring our officers in the police department and staff. These men and women worked tirelessly over this past year, especially during an unprecedented I hate that word too. Year. They stood up and protected our communities and our society during this hard year with the higher level of crime that we've seen. But again, they showed up and did the job and did it well. So again, the Food for Love Foundation provided lunch to the police officers, and throughout this month of May, we are going to also be celebrating the Asian Pacific Islander American Heritage Month. And on May 10th, we remember the contributions that the Chinese Americans have made to our nation, historically and significantly in the construction of the Transcontinental Railroad. Chandler has been one of the largest Asian populations in the valley, and they continue, our Asian Pacific Islander friends continue to play a very significant part in our businesses and in our community, and keeping it a dynamic and vibrant city as we continue to grow. That's all I have. Thank you.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Little button there. I think after 4 years, I'd remember to do that. Mayor, thank you for rescinding the proclamation. You know, I appreciate your consulting counsel throughout that entire process. I know that was a hard decision for you to make, but it was the right decision at the time. And as we went through this, you were constantly consulting your counsel, and I'm grateful for that. And that's what it's all about. So thank you. You know, on a somber note, you know, we lost 2 teens this week. Zion, student athlete at Perry High School, and Alex, a student at Hamilton High School. And tomorrow, Mayor Harkey, Mayor Bridget Peterson from Gilbert, and Not My Kid Foundation, we're getting together at 1:45 to talk about mental health and substance abuse. And our goal is simply to educate families, to continue to raise awareness about this subject. COVID's been hard. There's so many stresses and challenges for these young kids these days, and we need to be talking about this. And know that it's okay to talk about suicide. It's okay to talk about substance abuse. And as parents, it's our job to approach our kids and just ask them the question and to listen. So tomorrow, please join us. We'll be on at 1:45. We'll be on the Not My Kid Facebook. We'll be on Mayor Harkey's Facebook page, and we'll be on my Facebook page. So please tune in. And if you can't, it'll be on record. But please share with your friends and make sure you have those hard conversations with your kids. Thank you.
Councilmember Rowe.
Thank you, Mayor. Not a lot from me. I will say I appreciate you rescinding the order regarding COVID. I want to call the other cities across this state to do the same. And it's not an easy decision, but it's the right decision. So thank you for doing that. Very nice, little public briefing on the city manager hiring thing. I liked it day by day layout on that, and so that was very good. And I got to see you make a presentation in front of the Chandler Business Alliance this morning, and that was well received and a lot of great talking points. You only put me on the spot once, but our businesses do matter, and many of you have my phone number, and you're welcome to call me, and I continue to extend that offer. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Ellis.
Thank you, Mayor. Last week, we had a really hard week when we interned one of our police officers here, Officer Farrer. It was very difficult for our whole community. But what really touched my heart was the fact that I saw how our community came together from every single place in this city. People came from everywhere. The other cities were standing with us. It was such a remarkable service to be in that room and to think about his life and the things that he really accomplished. I mean, he was one of the most medaled officer here in Chandler. And I want to send our condolences to his family, his mom and dad. Every time his dad look at me, he says, I know you from somewhere. And so I've known him in the community. I've seen them and many times. But what really I would like to leave with all of us today is to remember that every single day that one of these women and men in uniform leave their house, there's a potential that they will not go back home. And if we could find it in our hearts to really extend that extension of ourselves to say a prayer or to even think about them in a positive manner, that they are truly put in their lives, those who really want to do this work, they do have a heart for it. And I will implore you to really think about them as people, just like you and I. And they have families, they have their children. When I saw his son standing, pushing that coffin, I couldn't help but thinking that could have been my son standing there. When I saw his partner, the dog, reach over his coffin and put his hand over there, refused to let that coffin go, this told me that this man was remarkable. He was a great person. He was a great human being. And we lost someone that we could never replace here in Chandler. Please keep that in mind. Again, thank you so much, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Ellis. Councilmember Orlando.
Thank you, Councilmember Ellis. It was an emotional time for a lot of us, and we certainly appreciate you recapping that. I have nothing else tonight, Mayor. I couldn't top that anyway. I wouldn't want to top that.
You know, Council, I was remiss earlier, and I'm wondering if you would all join me and just stand and have a moment of silence, prayer for Officer Farrar's family and for himself. Thank you. I believe it is always timely to honor, and it is always timely to remember. Acting City Manager.
Nothing tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
All right. Council, we next have a special meeting here. Clerk, please take the roll.
Mayor Harkey.
Here.
Vice Mayor Stewart.
Here.
Councilmember Harris.
Here.
Councilmember Lopez.
Here.
Councilmember Rowe.
Here.
Councilmember Ellis,
I'm still here.
Councilmember Orlando.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Council, we've got one action item on here, and that is to approve the budget amendments using one-time council contingency totaling $351,000 and ongoing council contingency of ongoing funds of $49,000, and to incorporate each of these in the 21-22 tentative budget. I do want to thank Stephen, one of our staffers, for really working with all of us to get this across the table and to make sure that everyone had something in here. Acting City Manager, thank you for your part as well. So this really reflects all of council, and I think everyone has something here to be proud of. So with that, a motion would be appropriate.
Mayor,
Councilmember Orlando.
I move that we, excuse me, approve the tentative budget amendments dated May 13th, 2021.
Is there a second? Councilmember Lopez. Any additional comments? Council, please vote. Oh, my blue light needs to reset.
I got it.
Okay.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right, thank you. Council, that concludes our special meeting. We now have an executive session, which we will then go into our other room. Thank you.